Hello, my name is Laura Warden. I'm one of your Broome Library librarians. Welcome to Library Instruction video for ECS 462. Before we begin, I want to point out some support options the library has for you on its website. If you look over here on the right, you'll see that the library offers Chat with a Librarian. If we scroll down and click on Ask a Librarian, you can see our chat hours. And below that, you can see the option to schedule a resource appointment with a librarian. You can schedule up to an hour with a librarian. You can also email a librarian by emailing reference.librarian@csuci.edu. Now let's go back to the library homepage. One thing to keep in mind while searching for articles is it is better to collect 2 or more articles more than you need when possible in case one of your articles doesn't meet your needs after reading. For our article search, we are going to look at 2 databases, ERIC and Education Database. Start by clicking on Databases A to Z. Then I'm going to click on E to shortcut to the E section. I'm showing 2 education databases, but depending on what your topic is in relation to dual language learner, you may wish to look at other databases. For example, if you were searching dual language learner and autism, you may want to look at a psychology database, such as PsycInfo. As I scroll down to ERIC, you will notice under each of the databases a brief description. These can be useful when title alone does not explain what a database might hold. In the case of ERIC, the description tells us that ERIC stands for Education Resource Information Center and that it contains 1.4 million records in the field of education. Remember, when searching for home, you will be prompted to sign into your MyCI if you haven't already. Let's search ERIC. When ERIC opens up, it opens up in the Advanced Search screen. Before we look at the search boxes, let's look at the Limit section. The Limit section allows you to limit your search before you even search. Since this assignment requires peer-reviewed journals, you're going to want to click off Peer Reviewed. This tells the database to return peer-reviewed journal articles only. Now, if you're interested in only looking at a certain date range of articles, you could set your date range here under Publication Date. You can also set an education level. For example, you may wish to set the education level to Early Childhood Education. By doing this, the results should only bring back articles that include the education level Early Childhood Education. Now let's look at the search boxes. As we look at the search options next to the search box, there are several to choose from. For our search, I'm going to use Select a Field. This option will act like a keyword search. When selecting search terms, you need to consider which keywords describe your topic or question best. For example, if I was interested in literacy rates for dual language learners who received early intervention, I might search using dual language learners, literacy, and early intervention. You might also consider other words that have similar meanings, for example, classroom etiquette versus classroom management. For our search, I'm going to search on dual language learner. I'm adding an asterisk to the end of learner so we can search both learn and learners at the same time. The asterisk allows us to replace characters, which lets you search multiple forms of a word. For example, computer, computers, computing at the same time. For our other search terms, I'm going to use literacy and preschool. Let's search. Here are our results. As we scan the page, we see the database has supplied the title, the authors, and subjects for each article. We know an article is in full text in this database when we see PDF, HTML, or full text from ERIC. Note, when clicking on full text from ERIC, this will take you to another website where the full text is available. Let's take a look at this title. As we look at the record page, we see that we have the title, the authors, the source where the article comes from, and below that we have descriptors or subject headings. The subjects could be useful to your searching, so take a moment to look at them. One of the most useful pieces of information on this page is the abstract, where by reading the abstract you can determine whether or not this article might be what you're looking for or not. You may also find additional search terms within it. If you wish to view the full text of this article, you can scroll down here and view the HTML, or you can come over here to the left and click on PDF. If you do decide you want this article, you can download the PDF or come over here on the right and print it or email it to yourself. If you email it to yourself, you can include the APA citation. You can also view the APA citation by clicking on Cite. Note, computers make mistakes, so always double check the citation. While it's great that it gives it to you, never blindly accept it as being correct. Always double check. The other thing I recommend is don't leave these citations just lying around. Put them in a Word document. It is much easier to format your works cited page if all your citations are already in a Word document. Then it's a matter of a few minutes to correct the citations. Also, if you do it early enough, you can visit the Writing and Multiliteracy Center for help. Let's go back to the results page. You may be wondering how I get an article that isn't in full text. This is where the JSB link can be used. By clicking on this link, the system looks to see if another database has this article available in full text. A new screen will pop up displaying the article or a link to the article. If it is not available, the new screen will say no full text available, but you can request it through ILL. If you choose ILL, understand this means we're asking another library for a copy. This may take a week or more, so consider carefully. If you find you're getting too many results, one thing you can try is searching by title. For our example, we could search for Dual Language Learner by title. This requires these words to appear in the title. This, along with your other search terms, should narrow your results. As you can see, we now have 12. Now let's look at the education database. I'm going to click on the A to Z list tab that's still open, and I'm going to go to Education Database. This database opens up in the basic search screen, which is fine, but for this search, I'm going to go into the advanced search. On the advanced search screen, we have a few limit options: full text, peer-reviewed, and publication date. Next to the search boxes, you can see we have several search options, including anywhere and title. For our search, we're just going to leave it anywhere. Now let's search the same search we did before. Dual language learner with the asterisks, literacy. And we'll need to add a row for preschool. And let's not forget our peer review. Now let's hit search. And here are our results. As we look at the results page, we see articles titles and sentences pulled from the articles showing our search words. If we look on the left, we see some options to further limit our results. In this database, we know something is in full text because it says full text. Let's look at this article here by clicking on Details and Abstract. Here's the abstract that will help us decide whether to keep or move on from this article. Below that are some subject headings. Further, there's some additional publication information. If we go back to the top, you'll see we have the option of viewing full text or full text PDF. We also have the option of viewing the references for this article. Not only can we see the citations, but you can also access the full text by clicking on Get Full Text or Full Text. If you only see Find a Copy, use this to see if it's available elsewhere. Why are references important? because if the article is good, then they will have used good sources you can use for your own research and save yourself some time. If you want a copy of this article, you can download the PDF, email it to yourself along with the citation, or print it. You can also click on Cite to view the citation. Remember, databases make mistakes, so always check the accuracy of the citation. Now let's go back to our results page. What if the article you're interested in doesn't have full text? Well, you can use the Find a Copy. This will search to see if we have a copy someplace else, or provide you with access to Interlibrary Loan to get a copy. Let's go back to the library homepage and recap what we learned. When searching, I recommend collecting more articles than you need. This will avoid the last-minute search for an article when another article doesn't work out. ERIC and Education Database are good databases, but not your only option. Other databases you could search include Wiley Online Library and Springer. You may also want to look at a subject-specific database outside of education, like PsycInfo. It all depends on your topic. If you're having trouble finding an article, try thinking of similar words. You may also need to broaden your search. If you're using a word that's relatively new, you may need to use the older term. You may also want to do a title search. Remember to look at the references for additional articles. If you need help from a librarian, you can chat with a librarian, or schedule a research appointment, or email a librarian. You're also welcome to email me directly any questions you have, or to schedule a Zoom appointment with me. Thank you for watching, and good luck on your research.